LaToya Jackson's story started with something so small, yet it shook the entire fan base. You won't believe how a simple 10-second video changed everything. Earlier this month, the 69-year-old singer and TV personality, known worldwide because of the legendary Jackson family, appeared in an Instagram clip that immediately created fear, confusion, and endless questions. She sat quietly in what looked like a doctor's office, wearing an orange scarf and a matching cap, and even though she smiled, something in that moment felt different. She said, I'm back at the doctor, hoping everything goes smoothly. And let me tell you, that one line was enough to send her followers into panic. People who had watched her for decades felt something was off, and they rushed to the comments with prayers and worried messages. This was not a normal post from LaToya. This is how things became strange instantly. She had always been careful about what she shared. She showed her travel moments, her fashion, and sometimes family memories, but she never talked about her personal struggles. That was why this video felt so unusual. It was short, unclear, and yet so heavy. Fans noticed she looked much slimmer than before, and while she tried to sound cheerful, her voice carried a quiet seriousness. Her caption also made people pause. She wished everyone a joyful weekend and encouraged them to stay safe and healthy. But the way she repeated that she was back at the doctor hinted that something had been going on for a while. People tried to convince themselves that maybe she was fine, maybe it was nothing big. But here's the shocking part. LaToya had been looking different for months, and many fans had already pointed it out. Some said she looked tired. Others said she looked fragile, and some thought it was just aging. She never replied to those comments, never explained anything, and kept smiling like everything was normal. That silence now felt heavier than before. The mystery around this video pushed her name into the headlines, and the worry spread fast because everyone remembered how private the Jackson family always stayed when it came to personal issues. Her followers began digging into her recent posts, trying to find clues. This is where it gets interesting. The past few months showed a pattern: less public appearances, fewer casual selfies, and a slow change in her physical appearance. Nothing dramatic, but enough for her longtime fans to sense that something was happening behind the scenes. They had known her for years, watched her through controversies, successes, and struggles, and they felt this was not just a random doctor visit. Some felt it was a warning, others felt it was a sign she needed support, and many feared this was the beginning of something she had been hiding. Her personality also made everything more emotional. She had always lived with a mix of fame and mystery. She had been part of one of the most famous families in the world, yet she chose a quieter, more private path. What makes this story different? She never exposed her problems. She preferred to handle them silently. But this time, she shared something that felt raw and personal. It wasn't polished or controlled. It wasn't glamorous. It was just LaToya sitting in a doctor's office trying to stay calm, and that honesty hit people deeply. Even though the clip was soft and simple, it carried a strange weight. People started talking about her past, her emotional strength, and the ups and downs she had survived. They remembered her music, her reality shows, her struggles with criticism, and the years she spent trying to build her own identity outside her family's shadow. And the craziest part was that despite everything she had faced, she always returned with calmness and grace. But this time, that grace looked a little shaken. Something about her eyes told a different story, a story she wasn't ready to share yet. Her fans felt protective because they had lived through tragic moments with the Jackson family before. Michael's sudden passing changed the world forever, and ever since then, people reacted strongly whenever another Jackson family member seemed unwell. It was like a collective fear that history might repeat itself. LaToya's video reopened those feelings in many hearts. It reminded them that behind the fame and glamour, these were real people who carried real pain. After that mysterious video, the attention on LaToya Jackson grew even stronger. Fans began analyzing every little detail in her posts, trying to understand what she might be going through. Destiny took an unexpected turn because what seemed like a simple doctor visit turned into a worldwide conversation about her health and privacy. People remembered how the Jackson family always tried to handle personal matters quietly, and now LaToya seemed to break that silence, just a little. It was enough to make everyone wonder, was this a warning, a subtle cry for help, or just a normal checkup after years of ignoring her own health? The uncertainty made it almost impossible for people to look away. Even the Jackson family got involved quietly. Her nephew, Terrell Jackson, commented, "Love you, Aunt Toya," and her niece, Brandy, added, "Sending you love and healing energy. I'm praying for good news." But here is the shocking part. While a few family members showed support, others stayed completely silent, leaving fans to fill the gaps with their own fears. Sources close to the family said LaToya was staying positive and trying not to alarm anyone until she got proper news from her doctors. This balance of secrecy and reassurance created a tension that made the story even more gripping. Fans were desperate for details, but everything was left unspoken. The public also began comparing LaToya's approach to other celebrities. Some stars openly shared their health struggles, while others hid theirs completely. LaToya seemed to be in the middle, admitting something might be wrong, but not revealing exactly what. This is how she kept a sense of mystery that made people even more invested in her story. Every little gesture, her posts, her quotes, her smile, was examined and interpreted. People noticed her recent social media updates were full of positivity, messages about faith, love, and inner strength. Yet, the underlying concern about her health made these posts feel different from her usual cheerful updates. Fans also reflected on her past struggles and successes, making them even more emotionally connected to her situation. They remembered her albums, her reality shows, and her attempts to step out of Michael and Janet's massive shadow. She had always been the quieter sibling, but she had a unique strength that fans admired. This is where it gets interesting. Many felt that her recent video was a glimpse into a side of LaToya they rarely saw, a side that was human, vulnerable, and uncertain. It reminded everyone that even celebrities who seem larger than life face challenges just like anyone else. Even social media experts commented on the weight of her video. Mysterious posts like this were known to spark conversations not just about one person's health, but about broader issues like aging, stress, and mental well-being. What makes this story different? LaToya was not asking for attention. She was simply being herself in a moment of honesty. That honesty created a ripple effect across her fan base. Every comment, every like, and every speculation showed that people cared deeply. They wanted to support her, to pray for her, to hope for the best, even without knowing the details. And in that silence, that lack of concrete information, the story grew heavier, stranger, and more emotionally charged than ever. As days went by, the mystery surrounding LaToya Jackson only deepened. Fans kept revisiting the video, analyzing her expressions, her words, and even the smallest gestures. The craziest part was how a few seconds of footage had captured so much attention worldwide. Everyone was talking, speculating, and sharing their fears, yet LaToya herself remained calm and positive in her other posts. She continued sharing short, inspirational messages, encouraging her followers to believe in love, light, and faith, which made the contrast even more striking. Her words were simple, but they carried a deeper meaning now that people knew she was facing a personal health challenge. Meanwhile, media outlets tried to reach out to her team for clarification, but no official statements came. But here is the shocking part. Everything people were saying online was based on guesses, assumptions, and tiny hints from her social media, yet the level of concern was enormous. Some fans speculated about exhaustion, autoimmune conditions, or stress-related health issues, while others thought it could be something more serious. Despite all the chatter, no one knew the full truth. This mix of worry, love, and uncertainty kept people glued to her posts, waiting for any new information. LaToya's history made the situation even more compelling. She had grown up in one of the most famous musical families in the world, and from an early age, she had learned to carry both fame and scrutiny. She released albums like Heart Don't Lie and Bad Girl, appeared on reality TV, and even faced public controversies, especially within her family. Yet, she always maintained a sense of dignity and calmness. This is how she survived decades of public attention while keeping parts of her life private. Fans saw her as resilient, but now her resilience seemed quietly tested, making them feel protective and emotional in ways they had never felt before. The family context added another layer of tension. LaToya's family, known for their close bonds but also their privacy, quietly supported her. Yet other members stayed silent, allowing speculation to grow. This is where it gets interesting. The mixture of public support and private secrecy created an emotional storm. Fans felt connected not just to LaToya, but to the entire Jackson legacy of triumphs, struggles, and tragedies. Michael's passing, Janet's challenges, and years of media scrutiny all came to mind, making the smallest detail in LaToya's video feel monumental. Even as she stayed quiet about her specific condition, LaToya's short post sparked larger conversations about celebrity health and privacy. Fans discussed how public figures balance personal struggles with fame and how social media can amplify even the smallest signals. What makes this story different? LaToya did not complain, did not dramatize, and did not ask for attention. She simply shared a glimpse of her real self. And in that glimpse, the world saw a human being, vulnerable and strong at the same time, leaving everyone hanging in suspense and full of concern. Even though LaToya Jackson had stayed mostly quiet about her health, her small gestures and messages continued to speak volumes. Fans noticed that she kept sharing spiritual quotes, messages about positivity, faith, and healing, which seemed to mirror her own situation. You won't believe how much impact these simple words had. People felt they were glimpsing the strength she relied on during difficult times. Her calmness and focus on hope reminded fans that even someone who had lived in the spotlight for decades could face uncertainty with grace. Every post, every smile, every hint of optimism became a point of connection for her followers, who wanted nothing more than for her to be well. As the days passed, speculation continued to grow. People from around the world discussed what could be happening, analyzing every detail of her appearances and posts. But here is the shocking part. Even without official confirmation, LaToya's story highlighted a larger issue: the challenge of balancing privacy with public concern. Many celebrities share their struggles openly, while others, like LaToya, reveal only glimpses. Fans respected her approach, but it also made the tension and mystery feel almost unbearable. Every message of love and support from followers carried the weight of collective concern, showing how deeply her story had touched people everywhere. LaToya's life and career gave context to the emotions surrounding her health. She has survived years of public scrutiny, family controversies, and the pressure of being part of the Jackson dynasty. She had recorded albums, appeared on television, written a memoir, and raised awareness on social issues, all while maintaining her identity in the shadow of worldwide fame. This is where it gets interesting. The same resilience that helped her navigate decades of fame now helped her face uncertainty about her own health. Fans admired her ability to remain composed, positive, and inspiring, even in moments of personal challenge. Despite the unknowns, her story resonated because it was deeply human. The public saw someone they had admired for decades suddenly showing vulnerability, reminding everyone that fame could never shield a person from life's difficulties. Her video, her posts, and her calm responses created a mix of suspense, concern, and admiration. What makes this story different? LaToya did not seek sympathy. She did not dramatize her situation. She simply shared a moment of truth, leaving her fans to hope, pray, and wait with her. That connection, built over years of loyalty and shared memories, kept people watching, caring, and supporting her like family. In the end, LaToya Jackson's mysterious video became more than just a post. It was a reminder of life's unpredictability, the strength of the human spirit, and the power of hope. The craziest part was how a single short clip managed to remind millions that behind every celebrity is a real person facing real challenges. Her story ended this chapter with uncertainty, but also with love, faith, and inspiration, leaving her fans waiting, hoping, and believing that brighter news would come soon. Even after decades in the spotlight, LaToya had once again shown that she was not just a member of the Jackson family, but a woman of courage, resilience, and quiet strength.